Hi all, Nick Silverstein here. Today I thought I would make a guide on how to install El Capitan on an old Dell Latitude D630 with an NVIDIA Graphics Card. Now it's very important that your D630 has an NVIDIA Graphics Card for this to even work. If it doesn't, it's not going to work for you. Your graphics card will not be recognized and your computer just won't work. So you really need one with an NVIDIA graphics card. You can't do it with an Intel graphics card. You won't get OpenGLES or Quartz Extreme working. And if you don't have that working on a Mac, it doesn't work at all. So the first thing you're going to need is a USB stick. So plug in your USB stick. Okay. Plug in your USB stick. There it is. And let's format it now. So open up Launchpad, open up Disk Utility, and go to the root of the USB stick. So go to the left hand side where it says USB. Name your USB drive. And then don't click on the partition, click on the name. And go to the erase button. Name it like USB. And then just keep it macOS Extended Journal. And make sure it's GUID partition map. And then hit erase. And all the files that I use are going to be in the description, except for UniBeast and Clover, but I'll put links to them in the description. But if you're doing this, you should already know what those files are. So I'm just waiting for this to finish. Okay, there it goes. Alright, now I'm going to open up UniBeast. So hit continue, agree, and this will work for all versions of El Capitan. Okay, so hit El Capitan, continue, and make sure you choose Legacy Boot Mode. It's very important. And don't select any of this, because we're going to replace it with an EFI folder that's in here. So just hit continue, and then just type in my password. And hit enter. So let this finish, and when it's done, we'll be back. And let me just clarify, this guide will only work for the D630. This guide will not work for any other models, even other Dell models. This guide is specific to the Dell Latitude D630. Alright, with that said, let's continue. And just on a side note, the reason why I'm using my 2009 MacBook Pro and not my 2008 one is my 2008 one actually made rest in peace. It died. The logic board died, and I could not recover the computer. I'm not skilled enough to install a logic board on the 2008 MacBook Pro, and it didn't work. So may that computer rest in peace. Alright. We'll be back when this is done. UniBeast will come up with this window when it's in the middle of creating the USB stick. Just close this window, and then you should be fine. Alright, we'll be back when it's done. So it's about done here. Just waiting for, yeah, it's finished now. So, I'm gonna put this zip file in the description. You can download it. And then this is what you get when you unzip it. And then here is the EFI folder. Just literally copy that folder. And do you see how it mounted USB and EFI? Just go into the EFI partition and then just do a Command V and paste it, and then replace all the files with the EFI folder that you downloaded in the description of the video. This will basically put all the necessary drivers for the D630 NVIDIA model to get it to work. Like I said, this only works with the NVIDIA model. And then once all that's copied, then just eject it, and then just hit eject all. And then you're done with the Mac side of things. So once this ejects, then we'll plug it into the Dell, and we will get started with the Dell side. Actually, in fact, before we eject it, you might want to copy this file, Clover.pkg. I'll put a link to that too. You might want to copy that to the root of the USB stick, and also you might want to copy this folder to the root of the USB stick. Not only to the not to the EFI partition, but to the USB side of things. And if you notice, when you plug it back in, the EFI partition is no longer mounted. You have to mount that either with a tool or with the terminal. So let's get started. Alright, so I'll be back when we get to the Dell side of things. Hi all, I'm back. So now let me just show you that it is a D630. Well, there's a lot of glare on that. Let me turn off the lights and then I'll be back. Wow, that is very hard to read. But basically it's a Dell Latitude D630, and the way to check what kind of graphics card you have is if you go to device info, it will tell you Quadro. If it says Quadro NVS, you have an NVIDIA Graphics Card. Sorry about the lighting. It's just this. There we go. That's much better. If you have a Quadro, then you know it's NVIDIA. So let me just plug in my USB stick. I'll do that in a second. Okay, plug in the USB stick. Okay. Okay, so let's escape out of the BIOS. So now we're on the Dell, and we are going to hit F12 when we boot up for the first time. And then we're going to select, I think there's a DVD in the drive. Let me just take it out. What that is. Blank. Okay, so then we're just going to choose USB. Wow, you can't see that at all. Okay. There we go. Okay, we're gonna choose USB storage device, and then it's gonna start to load Clover. Okay, and then just go to the options menu, and then go down to where it says boot args. Just type -V at the end. Just to make sure everything's loading up properly. And then we're going to hit return. And then boot Mac OS X from USB. Or whatever you named your USB stick. Let me just zoom out a little bit so you guys can see. Okay. So now it's reading the USB stick. And it's gonna boot from it. And like I said before, this guide only works if you have the D630. It does not work for any other model besides the D630. And you also need the NVIDIA Graphics Card. You need the D630 with an NVIDIA Graphics Card. So there goes the text, and there loads the kernel. This is all the code. Don't get scared if anything happens, but if it starts taking longer than like 20-30 minutes to load up, then something's wrong. Probably you don't have the right model or something. And if you see NVIDIA Startup Official, then you know it worked. And if you see NVIDIA 50 HAL loaded and registered, you definitely know it worked. And then your screen should flash. It should go into your native resolution. You should see a gray screen. And then you should see an Apple logo. And this takes a while. I don't want to make any cuts because I don't want you to know. I don't want you to think it takes shorter than this. It takes a while. Especially if you have a really old USB stick, it's gonna take a long time. Yeah, this took about 5 minutes. Sorry, there's a lot of crap on my screen. Alright, you'll get a darker gray screen. And then you'll see either select your language, or you'll see welcome. So okay, it looks like you're gonna see the welcome screen. So now you're gonna go up to utilities and disk utility, and you're gonna choose your main hard drive. And then you're gonna hit erase and name it like Mac and Tosh HD. Okay, God bless me. And then you just have to hit erase. Hit done. And then go up to disk utility and hit quit disk utility, and then just hit continue, agree, and then choose Macintosh HD and hit continue, and then just let it install as if it was a real Mac. Alright, I'll be back when this is done. At this point, it might try to go to sleep. Just hit the space bar, maybe the command key or the control key. Just anything to wake it up. And I have noticed that hitting the space bar does make it go a little faster. Because in the old days with OS X, if you hit the spacebar on like a Tiger CD or a Leopard CD or a Snow Leopard CD, it would make the CD it would make the computer seek from the CD, and sometimes the USB drive like goes to sleep. I guess, and hitting the spacebar makes it seek from the USB stick. I don't know if that's a command that Apple put inside of the installer, but it does make it read from the USB stick. So by hitting the spacebar, you kind of speed things up a little bit. Because I have noticed like points where it's not reading from the USB stick, and then hitting the spacebar a few times tends to work. Alright, so it says about 11 minutes remaining. I doubt that. It takes about maybe an hour for this to install. We'll be back when it's done. Oh, I have another side note. If you have the Intel wireless card, your wireless is not gonna work in Mac. You need at least a Dell wireless 1390, 1490, one of those cards to get it to work in Mac. You're gonna need a 1390 or 1490. The 1395 does not work, and the 1495 does not work in Mac. You need the 1390 or the 1490. I recommend the 1490 because it has wireless N. This computer has the 1390, but you could put a 1490 in here, and then you would get wireless N. Alright, that's just a side note. We'll be back when this finishes. It looks like in 4 minutes. I just wanted to film the ending of the install just to show you what happens. So it says about a minute remaining. It probably will take about a minute or two, depending on your model. This one is 2 gigahertz. If the one that's slower might go a little slower, but it all should be about the same. Just waiting. Now it says less than a minute remaining. Should be a minute here. It's almost done. So just give it a second. There it goes. So it says restart to complete the installation. Just hit the restart button, or it will restart on its own, and hit the F12 key again. Okay, and boot from USB storage again. Okay, but this time, instead of booting from the USB stick, we are going to boot from the Macintosh HD. And let's do -V again. You don't have to do -V, it's just to make sure everything's working. And then choose Macintosh HD. Okay, there it goes. Booting up. Should be fairly quicker this time. My battery light's blinking, so if the battery dies, I will just replace it. But it does take a while the first time you boot up Mac. It's as if you just bought a Mac from the store and you're booting it up for the first time. That's what this boot is equivalent to. Any errors you get should be fine as long as you have the same model as me. Okay, waiting for G4's accelerators to start. Takes a while, but it will work. Waiting for Don't Steal Mac OS. Graphics loading. There we go. The reason why I didn't load the Wi-Fi kicks before was it turns out I had my wireless switch off. There we go. Okay. So now I have to put it into this. Alright. Loading everything, and we should be greeted with welcome, set up your Mac for the first time kind of thing. Perfect. So just set this up as if you were do a real Mac. The only thing the only thing you shouldn't do is when it asks you for diagnostics and usage, just uncheck that, and then we'll be back when we're at the desktop. This is the screen I was talking about. Just uncheck the bottom one first, and then uncheck the top one, and then just hit continue. Make sure those are both selected. If Apple finds out how we did this, then they will stop it from working. They probably will find out by this guide, but okay, so the first thing we need to do is go into, when we're at the desktop, we're not quite done yet. We have to go into the USB drive, copy Clover to the desktop, and copy this D630 NVIDIA to the desktop. And then in fact, we can actually just inject the USB stick once that's all copied. Yeah, so now I can eject the USB stick and we should be good. Alright. So now just double click on Clover. You're gonna get this security error. Just right click on it and hit open. And then it will say, are you sure you want to open it? Yes. Open. And then hit continue. Make sure you select it on Macintosh HD. If you get to this screen, just choose this and hit Macintosh HD. And then continue. And don't install this on a real Mac, otherwise you'll screw it up. And then hit the customize button. Don't hit install. And then go to install Clover on ESP. And then the second option here. And then just hit install. And type in your password. Okay. And then just wait for this to finish, and then while it's finishing, go into this folder, go into EFI, right click, copy that, and then you can close this now, and then go to the Go menu, and then Computer, and then go into the EFI partition and paste your EFI folder. And then when it asks you do you want to replace it, just hit replace. And then now you should be able to reboot without the USB stick. I just disconnected the USB stick. Let's see if we can reboot now. So it should just boot up fine without the USB stick. Okay. Now it's booting from the hard drive this time. And it says booting from the hard drive. There it is. Just hit enter. Now it's booting up Mac from the hard drive, and it should just work. My battery's dying, so if it dies, I will just re-record this part. It's gonna take a while because it's an old computer. If you put an SSD in here, it would go a lot faster. There it goes. So now it's at my native resolution. There goes the bar. I'm just waiting now. There we are. So let me just log in and then we will be back. Let's see. We have no audio, so I will show you how to get the audio working. Let me just make sure it's not just a setting. Yep, no audio. Okay. So to get audio working, you go download Kex utility. So I'm just going to start using Safari, and then I'm going to download. Go to Google and type in Kex utility. And download that, and then download that. Okay, and then in the D630 NVIDIA folder, in EFI, in Clover, in Kex, in 10.11, there's a file called Voodoo HDA. Copy that. This is why we copied it to desktop. And then we go to Go Computer, Macintosh HD, and then we gotta hit go to folder, because in El Capitan they hide that. So system, library, and then extensions, / extensions. I hope you can read that. And then you just hit go, and then you literally just paste this. You type in your password, and hit OK, and then you run Kex Utility, and then your sound should be working. And to run Kex Utility, you just have to open up the folder, right click on it, open. Okay, yes, open. Okay, type in my password again. Okay. And then just run this and you should have sound working. Alright, that's all. Alright, see you guys. Peace. So that's how you bought El Capitan on a Dell Latitude D630. Alright, if you liked my video, please like it, and to show me that you guys are watching it and you do like my content, please put a comment or like it. It really helps me out with the whole statistics thing and seeing if people like my content. So let me know if you guys like it. There's more tutorials on the way. We'll be back with more tutorials. Don't know which one's gonna be next, but there's definitely gonna be more tutorials on this El Capitan stuff. And I'm sorry it's really late on the tutorials, but life's been really busy. Alright, see you guys. Peace.